What's up guys, and welcome back to another video from me. And today I am going to be doing a building tune. I'm not going to put a tune on it. I've seen quite a few posts on different places on Reddit and the Forza forums where it seems like a lot of people are new to Forza altogether, and they don't really understand tuning or what parts to put on when for a car. So I thought, you know what, I'll do a video. And this probably won't appeal to the guys of you that can already tune already, but this is just what I do as an idea to get a car which you want, and get it up to a class which A, isn't too high, because I know a lot of people, they have a tendency just to whack loads and loads of power on and make it as high as possible and then race it round on the circuit lobbies, which doesn't always make it the best or the most competitive. So this is just a rough idea of what you guys can do and what parts you should look at first when you upgrade it. Now the car I'm going to go with is a car from one of the track packs. It doesn't matter which car you use, you can do this with whichever, but hopefully if you follow the same principle, it'll give you guys a car that's upgraded in a class that's suitable for it. When I come to class selection, it's usually I try and keep the car within one or two classes of the one it's in originally. So you can see this one, it's D class, so possibly the highest I'd go with this car. It's probably up to B class. A class probably would be pushing it. S class, it starts to get a little bit crazy, and even if it goes above S class, it's just it's not going to be competitive against any other car in that class anyway. So I'm going to choose this car, but as I said, you can do it with any car you want. I haven't bought this car at all yet. It is the first one I've got. I won't bother with paint, we'll keep it red. So buy this and we'll listen to the woman talk and tell us exactly what it is we've just bought, although we've already just read it. If it wants to move along, seems to take forever to save.
This is your 1992 Toyota Celica GT4 ST185.
So it's a Celica or Celica, depending on which part of the world you come from. And let's have a look at upgrading it to start off with. So first of all, right, this isn't going to make the car the most ultra competitive. It won't give you a super leadable car. This is to get the car to a position where it's drivable and it's controllable, and you won't go flying off the ground, off the track with shitloads of horsepower, because once you're in the gravel or the wall, the horsepower doesn't help you whatsoever. So this is like a base build, a very basic build of what you can do to your cars to get them to a good class. From that, then you can then take parts away and add different parts and just test it and see how it feels for you. First of all, things I always add, or I'd suggest you always add if you're very new to Forza, is tyres. Tyres will probably make the most difference to your car. So start off with, go straight ahead, put race tyre compounds on. So put race tyres on and straight away we're into C class. So now you've done this, go to tyre width and we'll add full tyre width on the front and full tyre width on the back. Alright, so you've got the most grip you can possibly have out of this car. Now this car's four-wheel drive, and historically four-wheel drive cars haven't been ultra competitive on a lot of tracks. There are a few exceptions, some of the shorter tracks where they can be competitive, but for most you want to be going with rear-wheel drive. So if your car isn't rear-wheel drive as standard, and you don't want to build a four-wheel drive car, I suggest you go with the drivetrain swap and move that into rear-wheel drive. So we'll do that as well. So now we've got a rear-wheel drive Celica with full race tyres on. Alright, so now we've done that, next thing you want to do, second most important thing, is platform and handling. After you've done tyres, always do platform and handling. Brakes, you want to be upgrading them because you're going to need them to stop. And as much power as you got, if you've got to use all that to get yourself out of the sand trap, that's not going to be giving you a quick time. So brakes, definitely upgrade. Suspension, we definitely upgrade as well. It only adds a small amount of PI anyway, and it gives you so many more options. You can get the car to handle so much better with it. Same with the front anti-roll bars, add race ones of those. Stock rear anti-roll bars, we'll put race on as well. And then possibly the second, if not just as important as tyres, is weight reduction. A lot of tracks on Forza, a lot of people go for high horsepower and high top speed cars, when in reality on the track you never hit your top speed unless you're doing Le Mans. A lot of the tracks in Forza are all about acceleration, and to get acceleration you need A, horsepower, and B, not a lot of weight. So next thing we add is we remove all the extra weight we can. So we go with a weight race reduction on that. Now this one, chassis reinforcement and roll cage. Now this can be, sometimes I add it, sometimes I don't. What I do basically is bring it up and then look at the handling and braking stats. So just move it one to the right. Braking goes up by 1. Handling doesn't move. 6.7 and 7.2. So launch goes down and braking goes up. And then handling actually goes up on that one. But handling doesn't go up on that one. But you can also see that we add a fair bit of weight to it as well. So it's a trade-off between adding weight and adding grip. What you can do as well is if you go into that view, just click up on the D-pad and you see your lateral G's at 1.24 and 1.2. If you move it to the next one, hopefully those should go up slightly. Yeah, so at 60 miles an hour you get more lateral grip, which is a good thing, but it doesn't make any difference at 120 miles an hour. So if you look at the base one now, we can see 124.119. So we'll look at that one. Does that one change it at all? 124.119. So that one, for instance, I probably would go with that one because that's where the handling changes. We lose a little bit of acceleration, braking goes up slightly, and we lose a touch more launch. But launch isn't really you only ever use it once off the line, and it makes no little difference anyway. So that one, it can be depending on how much weight it gains and how much extra grip and handling characteristics you get out with it. Is up to you to which one you go with. If you're trying to save weight, don't add roll cage at all. If you want to try and get a bit more handling out your car, then add the roll cage to it, whichever level you feel is best. So we'll go ahead and we'll add that one. So we've got the two most important things now done. We've done weight reduction and we have done tyres. So after that, if you get a car, remember this is just to get a car that handles well and you can drive it and you can use it on track and hopefully not have too many accidents. Front bumper. Front bumper, ignore all them ones that look really fancy. It's cool as they look with the big lights and bump bars on. They're not going to help you on track. So we'll go adjustable and make sure you choose the Forza front bumper on that. Same with the rear wing. I'm sure we've got loads and loads of different options of wheels and stuff and all the different bits we can add, but go with the Forza rear wing. So we'll add that. Now you can customise a little bit with the options you've got. Also with the options we've got, we have very little option, but you can choose whatever rear bumper you want. Doesn't make any difference. Side skirts are the same as well. Add mud flaps on if we want mud flaps. I'm not going to add mud flaps on this one. And same with the bonnet. Sometimes the bonnet does take a bit of weight off, so you can increase your stats a little bit. But I tend not to, although I'm very tempted with those 4 big lights. But no, we're going to keep it strict on this one. What I'm going to do is, because we're losing weight, we may have 1 or 2 PI that we need to make it up to class. I'm going to leave that off and we'll come back to that later. I'll show you a few ways you can bulk your PI up and get extra weight loss without actually gaining any PI. So now we've done that, we're going to go on to drivetrain. Always make sure you do your drivetrain conversions before you do your drivetrain upgrades. Clutch. Now I go with manual with clutch. So because of that, I never use clutch upgrades because it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Now if you're using automatic, you probably will get a slight benefit off it, or if you're using manual, you may get a small benefit off it as well. But overall, I would say don't use the clutch upgrade whatsoever. It adds PI usually, and you can spend that PI elsewhere. Transmission. Again, to get a car that is drivable and you can have fun with it and use it on track, go with the race transmission. So we'll add that in. And then the final thing, we're going to skip driveline because I'll come back to that in a bit. Differential. Put the race diff on. Adds nothing to your stats, but it does allow you to tune the diff, and that's quite handy on all cars, so definitely go with that. Right, so there you go, we're at C450 now, and what I usually do is tyres, platform and handling, aero, drivetrain, and then see what the class it's in. So now we're in C50, C450. Now we can either got choice. We can either use another 50 PI and boost it up to C class, which I probably would suggest that you start off with. So once you've added your tyres, your aero, your drivetrain, and your platform and handling, whichever class you're in, take it to the top of that class. Don't go any further. Otherwise, if you start adding extra power, you're going to make the car undrivable and make it harder to control. You can take it to the top of this class, and if you think it's too slow, then maybe you can go up a level and add some more power. But to start off with, at this, we're only going to take it to the top of C class. So we'll have a look at conversions now. Now we can start looking at the upgrades and everything. So we can look at the engine upgrade. Remember, we're going to try and stay in C-Class. So that one is a no-no straight away, and that one as well. So we're not even going to touch any of those whatsoever. As I said, you can always add them afterwards if you feel you want to go into B-Class, or you want to try and push it that little bit further and change parts around a little bit. So the only thing we've got left to look at now is engine upgrades. Now with this, it's got a turbo as standard. I don't usually like turbos. I prefer superchargers, because superchargers seem better for leaderboard times and generally overall. It's been that way in Forza for a while as well. Superchargers have always been the way forward. But as we haven't done any conversion on this, we've got the turbo in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the turbo, and that takes us up to 488. It does extend the boost value if you look on the graph of the torque as well, so you get a little bit more torque higher up the revs, but then it drops off a little bit as well. So we're going to not look at that. It's where you got choice. I usually go for turbo or supercharger, whichever one you got, then camshaft, then exhaust. That's just the way I do it. They seem to give me the best benefits from racing, and then if I've got enough room, I'll put displacement on, and then maybe an air filter and do that. But for this one, we've got 488 for that, or we can upgrade this 508, so we can't do that one, so we're going to do 485 with that. That extends the rev range a little bit, and I personally prefer to have a longer rev range overall. I don't like it we have to quick shift all the time, and the red line comes up really quick, because I just generally struggle with that, so I always try and extend the red line a little bit as well. So we're going to buy that. That's 485. Now we're going to look at the exhaust. So 499. So that takes us to that. Gives us a fairly 285 horsepower, 246 pound-foot torque, and weighs 2,800. So we'll add that, and now we have 1 PI left to spend. Now I'm pretty sure that we ain't going to be able to add anything on. Engine-wise, it's going to give us that extra PI. Pretty sure of it. These as well, the intercooler and the oil and cooling, I never use these, because for the amount of power you get off, it just adds more weight on, and more weight is a bad thing. Try and keep the car as light as possible, and it's very rarely that you need to add them anyway. Right, so we've got 1 PI left to spend. Now we have a variety of ways we can do this. We can add a flywheel, so we can boost it up to there. We can put that one, and then we're done. £2 off, job done. Or what we can do, we can back out. We can do a number of things. We can go back onto drivetrain. So we lost £2 with the flywheel. With that, we can lose £9.9, and it hasn't even bumped it up a class, up PI. So we're still on 499. So again, we're losing more weight. So we can do that. In fact, I think we'll go ahead and do that. So we've still got 1 PI left to spend, and we've just lost an extra £10. So that's £10 free. And then we'll have a look at wheels. Wheels are another good thing. So there you go, we can lose £11 on that wheel. Now can we lose any more without going over 14? Now I think 11 is possibly going to be the highest we can go. Right, we're going to stick with 11, and we'll just stick them on, and there we are. See, 500 on the dot. And then what we can also do is we can go back and we can have a look at the bonnets, because bonnets do lose us a little bit of weight. So for the amount, £6 is pushing us over, so we can't actually. But there might be like £7 before it goes up a PI, so you can always check these and just see if you can add them on, because A, they look kind of cool, and B, you actually lose a little bit of weight, but on for this one we can't. So there's a car, C500. We should take it for a little spin, and hopefully it will be half decent to drive around. I'm going to try it on a new track as well. We'll go on Long Beach. We'll do the middle tracks. I haven't done the middle track yet. I haven't really done much of these tracks at all. So this could A, be interesting because I know where I'm going, and B, I'm in a new car. But yeah, this process does pretty much work on most cars. It's good for a really base tune. It's not going to get you any top 100 leaderboard times or anything like that, but it gets you a car that you can drive. So if you've got a particular car that you enjoy using, and you want to try and get it so you can drivable, just try doing that straight away. Just go with tyres, then platform and handling, then aero, then drivetrain, and once you've done all them, then look at adding power to it, because there's a good chance the cars you're looking at are the higher up cars, and they've already got a buckload of power anyway. So let's take her for a spin and let's see how she drives. Bearing in mind we haven't done anything with the gears on this at all either, but we can always change the gears since we've added the race gearbox. I can tell you straight away this car has bags and bags and bags amount of grip. It's me late braking. Yeah, so there is no problem at all with the handling on this car. I mean, it's not going to be super fast again. It's not going to be a super leaderboard time that's going to break any world records. But the car is drivable and you can use it quite well. So you guys can try this out with pretty much any car you want on Forza. Obviously, the higher up you go, the less you start getting to race cars and stuff. Then it's not so much of a operation for you to do. You're going to struggle adding extra stuff to it and not getting any benefit. But from the lower down cars, the cars like the everyday cars that a lot of us like driving in Forza, off the wall, it works really, really well. And then what you guys can do as well, you can always go back, and if you think, well, I've got too much grip, I need a bit more power, then you can drop the tyre width down a little bit, or you can just reduce the tyre compound altogether. So rather than having race tyres on, just drop it down. But it's getting to a point where you feel, you know what, I've got enough power now, and the grip's just right. I haven't got too much, I haven't got too little, and then take it from there. So there you go, guys. We're going to pull up on the left hand side here and we'll park up with the helicopter in front of us. And there you go, guys. That's just my quick building the basic car. I hope you find it useful. I'm kind of hoping you do. And enjoy. Until my next video, guys, I'll see you all.